Okay. Okay. So today's session is very interesting session with Ali Akbar. Let me tell you all about Ali Akbar. And I'm not going to be talking about his qualifications. He will talk about his qualifications. Like before that I've said, people who come here are not coming here because they are qualified to be here. They're coming here because I have spent my life with them at some point or the other. They are friends or they're friends of friends. And that's their qualification. This whole forum is about connections. And connections are so important during this time of social distancing. In my experience, people at home are having very difficult time because neither are the doctors open outside in a normal way if somebody is unwell. Neither are people hadn't shared their lives with each other the way they are compelled to share their lives with each other right now. There's no running away from anything. You can't run away from your demons. If your child doesn't like you and you're sitting at home, then you got to deal with it. If your wife and you have had a fight, you can't really walk out of the house at this point because you don't know where to run to. Literally, people don't know what to do. Ali Akbar and I met each other almost, I would say, how many years back was it? Ali, how many years back was it? Ali, you're muted. Unmute yourself, Ali. Yeah, I've unmuted you now. Okay. So Ali and I think we go back to about 7, 8 years.
Yes.
Yeah. So he met me because he wanted to learn EFT and he was researching and he fell upon my name. That's 8, 9 years back. We've had a very interesting history together. I must have been I must be connected to him from past life. I'm very sure of it. Because the way we interact with each other, it doesn't feel as if I know him from now. And there seems to be things coming up in our relationship which we both don't seem to have control over. So let me explain. Every time Ali has come in my life, there has been a new chapter opening in my life. He compelled me to start back matrix reimprinting in India again. I had given up on it. And at the same time, there also comes a massive energy and then a collapse of energy. For some reason, I trigger him in a very wrong way. For some reason, he seems to be either running away from me or running towards me. But we haven't had, and it's not like, and when he comes back, he feels the warmth, he feels the connect, and he's there again. But there are certain triggers which are there from God knows from where. And yes, this topic is very apt that we both have a relationship of gratitude. We need to accept each other in many places, and we need to forgive each other for many things. It's always been a pleasure to have him back in my life. I feel like my younger brother is back here. And yet we can trigger each other very interestingly. I'm a very strong personality. And I don't have to do anything to trigger people sometimes. I just have to be there. And my very presence can be quite overwhelming for some people. Yet at the same time, I can be extremely loving. So Ali, just to let you know, and this feels like also a forum where I seem to be doing completions with my friends. I seem to be telling them why they are important in my life. I spent 3 days of my life in his house because I was 2 years back making him the trainer of Meta Health. And my father had just passed away, and it was on the 4th day of my father going away that I had to go to his place and stay because I didn't want him to cancel on anything. It's a very big thing to become a trainer in Meta Health. It's not a small thing, and it's an honor. And I reached this place and I felt taken care of like a child. I was very well treated, very loving, it felt like, we all sat down together and we had food from the same plate, which gave me huge insights. I spent my time with his children, his wife, fabulous family, fabulous people. Somebody please unmuted yourself. Please check, guys, all of you. Guys, somebody's mic is on. Please mute yourself. I don't know who it is. I'm busy checking. I cannot figure out. Okay, thank you. Now it's better. Sadhana, it's yours, my dear. Thank you. So, like I was saying, Ali and I love each other to bits. We've been very comfortable with each other, watched movies together, had fun, and at the same time, we've had this massive triggers going with each other. And that only happens when you're very close to someone. That cannot happen with someone that you're not close to. Ali, on this forum, I would like to say, I would really like you to go out there and train Meta Health to your fullest. And I'm very, very honored that you've come here today. It's taken a lot of me and a lot of you to be here. I don't give up on people, so don't give up on me.
Yes.
And it would be nice if we follow exactly what we are going to be teaching today, both of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Over to you. Again, with deep gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anu, and good evening, everyone. I am Aliakhbar Maimoon. I am from the city of Oranges in India, Nagpur. In other ways, I am located right in the center of India. As Anu rightly said, that I basically hunted her out when I returned from UK in the year 2012. I did my master's in business psychology from University of East London. Whilst being there, I was also learning for EFT. And for some reason, personal reason, as we all have, I had to come back to India. And whilst I was here, I was practicing the emotional freedom technique, which is one of my most favorite technique, and I use it always. So I wanted to advance in it. And when I went to the website of EFT Universe or somewhere, I found Anu to be training it. I called her up, I met her, I went for the first course with Anu, which was EFT level 2. And I found it completely different. And to be really honest, it was more than the international standards. So there was the start of a journey with Dr. Anu Mehta, wherein I started my EFT, then I did my matrix reimprinting, then I did my meta health training, level 1, level 2, level 3. I did my Lecker antenna with her. Whilst I was doing all of these things, I also did my access bars practitioner. I did body practitioner. I was also doing pranic healing. I've done the pranic healing till Arhatic Yogi. I did my NLP and hypnosis in UK. And in 2016, based on all of these things, I also submitted my research where I got my doctorate from the Colombo University. So this is the basic information of who am I, but I'm happily married with 2 boys, and I am in great, deep gratitude to Dr. Anu Mehta. And as she rightly said, that during her difficult times, she has and have not, and I know that she will never leave my hand or my back. She's always there for me, and she's always been there for everyone who has connected with her, maybe even once, maybe it's in her trainings or somewhere in other forums or wherever she's been there. So once you meet her, then you always be with her and greet her towards, to the end of your life. That is the kind of a person she is. So as we move forward, I would like to say what I've done today. Most of you might be aware about it because all of this, what I've gathered together, is just the learnings, the trainings which I've taken from different trainers, educators, websites, authors, writers, and all of these techniques that are simple techniques which can be followed by each and every one of us present here. It only takes few minutes
The utensils, huh?
for you to sit and work this out.
Huh? Enjoy करना.
Okay, if whoever it is, can you please mute yourself?
देख रहा हूँ. कल कुछ और नाम बोला था, आज कुछ और.
Israr ji, please mute yourself. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So the techniques, the exercises are really powerful. Of course, me, for the reason that I found it out. And as Anu was also mentioned, that we definitely share a very strong bond together. So basically, any workshop or any seminar which I start, the most important question which I ask to the audience is, are you ready for the change? And I would like to keep this an interactive session, because here it is more about sharing and learning rather than just being a one-way journey. So this next 2 hours will be mostly talking to each other. If you cannot talk, you have the chat option where you can send me your chats. So you must have been to various different workshops and many other things. So the question is, are you ready for a change in your life? Yes, I see thumbs up. What about others? I mean, according to me, this is the most important thing, because no matter what on earth you do, if you are not ready to change, if you're not ready to accept the change, then kabhi kabhi bolte, they say that even gods cannot help you. So someone said it very rightly, which is growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. So maybe we are there because of the reason that we're not ready to change. So tonight, I would wish and request that all of us take a very small step, like just 2-3 steps ahead of where we are, to accept that change and work on the exercises and techniques which I'm going to share with you today. Okay, so what is the power tree? Basically, when in all of these 8 years, with what all I have learned and trained for, I've always come across these 3 things wherein I wanted to do a seminar or a presentation or write a blog about it, but I never got time to. So I feel I'm blessed that I am able to share this for the first time on this platform. These are very 3 powerful words: forgiveness, gratitude, acceptance, or allowance. If we are able to work on these 3 things, I'm telling you, the recovery, the healing, or your spiritual journey will go at God's speed. Nothing will stop you. Everything is going to work for you. And this is not only for the people present here in this seminar, but it can also be a lot of benefit to all your clients that you have. It's very simple. All you have to do is just follow it. We mostly, what I've seen is, people do not take time to do exercises or the technique. They learn everything, but when they have to work on themselves, they do not do that. So tonight, we are going to take that time and we're going to work on our own self. We're going to come out of the issues which have been there in our mind, in our heart, in our soul for I don't know how many years. So to begin with, this is something very beautiful, which I was introduced to, again, Dr. Anu Mehta, I remember every workshop of hers starts with angel cards. And she has a collection of angel cards where one would be like, wow, which angel card are we going to get today? So as I worked on the power of three, I picked up the meaning of number three. So what does the angel have to say about the meaning of number three? So it's very simple here, as you can see on the presentation. The ascended masters are helping you. Usually this means an ascended master you feel close to, for example, Jesus, Kunai, a saint, or any spiritual or religious figure is with you. Every time. Sometimes it's known to you, sometimes it's unknown to you. But every time you have some or the other one with you. Your masters are there to help you and be with you. So what is forgiveness? What exactly is forgiveness according to you? There's a lot of content here, but I would want to hear from you. What is forgiveness?
So guys, put your hand up on the Zoom and I will unmute you. If you want to answer what you think is forgiveness. So, Ali, if I break this word for, give, and ness means smell. Give has got IV in it. It's like the smell of taking your relationship away from an IV, from a place where you're in ICU, into a place of forgiveness, into a place where you're there for the other person. You're giving yourself to the other person completely.
Yeah.
That's what I feel is forgiveness.
Brilliant.
Guys, others, please unmute yourself.
Dr. Archana is raising her hand.
Dr. Archana, please go ahead.
Forgiveness for me would be the strength to let people not hurt me and forget if they do. I mean, if they hurt me, I should have the strength to forget what they've done. I think that's forgiveness for me.
Okay.
That strength is forgiveness.
Okay. But forget and forgive, these are both two different words.
Yeah.
You can forget.
No. Okay. Okay.
Sana, you can unmute yourself and say what is forgiveness. Aarti, you can also do that. So first Sana, then Aarti, then Shamla. 3 people have raised their hand up. Sana, could you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, hi sir. For me, forgiveness is to forego what the other person has done to me. It's like, whatever bad that person has done to me, to just let it go.
Okay.
Wonderful. Let's go with the next person.
Vandana, ma'am.
Vandana, yes.
Yeah,
I see
for
you.
me too, forgiveness would be the ability to be able to move on, to let things go by and be able to move on with my life.
Okay.
Very good. Let's go with Nutan. Nutan, what does forgiveness mean for you?
For me, it's accepting the person the way he or she is and loving unconditionally.
Okay.
It's forgiveness for me.
Shahina and Sania, Shahina and Shamla, both of you. Shahina, go ahead. What is forgiveness according to you, Shamla?
For me, it is like letting it go and also putting myself in the other person's shoes and trying and understand the situation, and kind of letting it go is, forgiveness for me.
Okay. Shahina, please guys keep muting yourself after that. Okay. Shahina, could you please unmute yourself and say what is forgiveness? Ali, they're also writing on the chat. Huh?
They're on the chat. Okay, let me just check. Is able to see
so
the chat? Okay.
Aarti is saying forgiveness for me is not holding on to certain emotion. Shaina is saying forgiveness is accepting the situation, taking the learning and moving on. Amita is saying forgiveness is an ability to accept yourself and others for who they are and who others are and let go.
Let go.
Yes. Okay, that's, anybody else wants to say something?
You can keep putting it on the chat. Yeah. Amita says forgiveness is the ability to accept yourself and others for who you are, who others are, and let go of it. Okay. Forgiveness is to accept the situation, take learning and move on. But forgiveness to me is more than moving on, letting go of, forgetting it. It is more to do with your inner freedom.
Right. The two more people. Sumita is saying basically it is to forego or let go your own anger or resentment about the situation. Yes. Helena from Finland is saying you don't give attention anymore to something that before got emotional.
Okay. Hi, Helena. Thank you for being on this session. I owe a lot to you because I was unable to attend the session in Brazil. And I know you were there and you did a very, brilliant favor for me. So I do remember you always. Thank you very much for doing what you did back in Brazil.
Thank you.
Thank you, Helena. Yeah. Okay. So moving forward, there are many other chats as well, which says forgiveness is to understand the situation, accept the person and situation, and make yourself free from it and move forward.
Yeah, we have Maha from Egypt.
Yes, and she says also to have a pure heart towards that person or thing. Yes, that's brilliant. Israr Khan says to live peacefully for yourself. Yes, the inner freedom that you get. So there were a lot of definition. There are a lot of things which people have been saying about what forgiveness is and what it means. But I found this research which suggested 3 common components. So if you say, it says gaining a more balanced view of the offender and the event, decreasing the negative feeling towards the offender and potentially increasing the compassion. You don't know why that person did and what he or she did for. Giving up the right to punish the offender further or to demand restitution. So if we are not able to forgive a person, we keep thinking about that and we wish to take revenge or punish that person some way or the other. So there is a very good saying by Saint Francis of Assisi. It is in forgiving that we are forgiven. It is in the pardoning that we are pardoned. And this one sentence makes a complete difference if you look into it. It is in the forgiving that we are forgiven. It is in the pardoning that we are pardoned. So now the question is, why would anyone want to forgive someone who has wronged her in the past? I'm talking about forgiving, and maybe I'll also teach you exercises and techniques to forgive. But the question is, why? I really don't want to forgive this person. Why should I forgive? The person has done so and so thing to me. Why should I forgive? Isn't it a common question which comes to us most of the time? He treated me unwell. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Anya here from Germany.
Yep.
If I don't forgive someone, it will be constantly in my brain. It won't go.
Yep.
So, I mean, you need to sit down and say, okay, what happened, or try to find the reasoning or whatever. But if you don't work on it, it will stay forever in your brain and you can't move on in life with that person which you want to forgive or not forgive.
Yes. Maha says, for my sake, not for the person carrying grudges will hurt me, not him or her. Absolutely. There's a very brilliant saying which we'll see in the upcoming slides. Okay.
Alia, I want to ask you something. Supposing if we just forget it, if we not forgive, we forget and move it move on. I mean, like, or let it go. Is it okay? Like, supposing I did not forgive, but then I forgot. I'm, like, I don't want to be into that emotion, and I have moved on.
See, I'm sure that your subconscious is never going to forget what has happened. You might forget it consciously. You might not want to, it might not come towards you or into you at that moment in time, but it always stays there in your subconscious mind, and it is always going to be there with your soul. So it's always going to. So that's what I said. Forget and forgive. Both are two different words.
Yeah.
I can forget an event, but I can't forget the person who has done that to me. Unless and until I'm ready to forgive that person. When I forgive that person, there are high possibilities and chances that I will forget that event or situation forever. Maybe in this lifetime, or maybe in the other lifetimes that are yet to come.
Okay. Thank you, Ali.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So basically, why do you have to forget the person? Is it's not about letting someone off the hook for a wrongdoing, or forgetting about the past, or forgetting about the pain. It certainly does not mean that you really have to stick around in the future, like your boss treated unwell, or a partner, or a parent, or a friend. It is basically about setting yourself free so that you as a person can move ahead in your life. You really do not know, just because of not being able to forgive someone, you are still unable to move ahead in your life. At times, there are certain people who really do understand. Like a person who's completely done everything and does not know the reason why that person has got that particular suffering in life. And they say, I have been doing so many things, but still I have this suffering in my life. And I don't know why I'm coming across this again and again, or why is it actually happening to me? That is what we want here. Once you free yourself by forgiving the events or the person who has wronged you, you will be able to move ahead in your life. Otherwise, what happens is you have this story in your mind which keeps on repeating like a radio. So an event happens, a trigger is being done. So I'm sure all of you know here what a trigger is. Okay. So based on the five senses, if anything triggers a particular event, you have that story back to you. So from forgotten, you are again back to that event which has been triggered intentionally, unintentionally, or subconsciously. And that is the reason we say that you have to forgive the person. And this is also being told by Dr. Hammer, who has discovered the new German medicine, that we have to resolve our conflicts twice. First, in the real terms, we work on the conflict, and second is spiritually. And spiritually is by these power of threes. That is forgive, gratitude, and be in acceptance or allowance. So we will look into it in a more detailed way going further. So Master Chow Kok Sui, who has been working on pranic healing, a spiritual modality which has been helping you based on energy, pranic, and colors. So I'm not going much detail into all of these modalities, but I have taken few important bits here and there which are going to help you here. According to him, he says there are 7 levels to forgiveness. Forgiveness is not a selfless act. It is for the sole benefit of your own self and the person who has wronged you. It is about self-healing, it is about empowerment, and it is about liberation. So 7 level of forgiveness. We start with the level 0. Is for a kind of person who is not ready to forgive at all. This is a person who is never ready to forgive anyone or anything in the life. And he says, according to him, you have to reach the number 7, which is the level 7, to have your life filled with joy, calmness, still, happiness, and have that leniency of the moment which we want in our life. You want to achieve something and you are able to achieve that. There are possibilities when sometimes when you want to achieve something, you're really not able to achieve it. And we don't know for whatsoever reason that is that we're not able to achieve what we really want to achieve. So basically, in this level, the person is unable to forgive the offender and keeps thinking about him and the unpleasant event over and over again. There is so much of suffering, there is so much of hurt, there is so much of anger, resentment, emotional attachments, and all of this, if they are not being forgiven in this lifetime, then they're carried on to the other incarnations. So I'm sure none of us present here want to be in that kind of a lifetime. The next level is the level 1. That is at the moment of death. Now, if I'm not sure if you are aware about this, but in my community or the religion, as we say, when the person has expired or goes off and all of those ceremonies are done, all the member of the families, relative, friends, whoever wish, then goes to the person near their ears and says a word, please forgive me for whatever wrongdoing I've done to you. I'm not aware if this is being followed by other, religious practices or not. But if yes, then this is what we do not want. Why do we have to suffer a complete lifetime of ours, say 50 years, 60, 70, 80, without forgiving or being forgiven by someone? This is not the moment that we want. This is not the level of forgiveness that we want. The second level is after several years. After several years, the person is now aware about what exactly happened and what was the issue all about, and is now willing to let go of the pain and the suffering. So here, everything is like a hot coal. It is burning inside. And that burning is basically on your physical and emotional problems. Yes, Dr. Archana.
Ali, this after several years means after the death several years, or after the incident several years?
After the incident of several years.
Okay.
So here the soul realizes that this is not what has been happening, or some way or the other. Like for me, I understood this when I attended the Pranic Healing basic workshop in the year 2013, where this very simple technique of forgiveness was taught, and that brought a lot of difference in my physical health and my emotional health. So forgiveness is basically the economy of the heart. Forgiveness saves the expense of anger, the cost of hatred, and the waste of spirits. Very nicely written. The next level is the third level, which is after several months of the event which has happened. The person has a maturity. The heart chakra of the person, I assume that everyone knows where the heart chakra is. If not, going further, there's a picture which I'll show you where the heart chakra is. So to a certain degree, the person, the soul has an understanding of what exactly is happening. So then they agree and are ready to forgive that person or the incident or whoever has been connected to it. The fourth level is the level which is after a few weeks of the incident. So the person in this case, after forgiving, feels freedom, lightness. Sometimes we feel very heavy. The heaviness is feel for few people be in their chest, for few it will be in the stomach, for few it will be many different places. So all those things completely goes away once you start forgiving that particular incident or the person. The next level is 5, which is after few days. After few days, the person knows that this is what happened, this is being wronged, or I was wronged, I've done wrong, and they're ready and willing to forgive. Sixth level is after few hours. Now, this is something which we every one of us has to practice. Trust me, forgiveness is not going to happen in one night. This has to be a practice. It takes just about 5 to 10 minutes. If you can put it every day and move ahead in your life. So usually in this situation, what happens is it is normal and natural to feel hurt, angry, or irritated. But here, such negative emotions never really help you. They cause a lot of problem, as we all know, maybe now or in the future. All these emotions, where they are all stored in your solar plexus, the chakra over there, after a few hours, it normalizes and then the person comes back to the self. After practicing, like if you are been practicing continuously forgiveness, then after a few hours, you will be able to forgive that person. The last state level is within few minutes. Now, this should be the ultimate goal of each and everyone present over here, because forgiveness will help you in also achieving a world peace. By practicing forgiveness and releasing the emotional pain, you will feel emotionally calm, and also your mental levels will always be strong. Master Chow Kok Sui says, by forgiving and blessing, you stop wallowing in mud and you achieve inner peace and freedom. So if we have to recall, so that we all remember what we have done, the 7 level of forgiveness, can anyone repeat that for me, please?
Can I?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, one would be the time of death.
Okay.
One would be after several years.
Mm-hmm.
One would be after several weeks.
Mm-hmm.
One would be after several days.
Mm-hmm.
One would be after several hours.
Mm-hmm.
One would be after several minutes.
Minutes, and you forgot the month.
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
months.
Yeah. So that's great. So let us all, if we can remember, if we have a sharp memory, let's put it here. If we don't, then we definitely have a pen and book with us. If you can write it down, that'll be great, so that we all remember. The level 1 is moment of death. After several years, after several months, after several weeks, after a few days, few hours, and few minutes. Few minutes is what we have to work on. So there's been a lot of research being done on forgiving. And if you look at it, the research have been works on various physical issues like change in anxiety, are able to have the capacity to do change the symptoms of depression, paranoia, hypertension is reduced. If you see, there's a lot of research by different scientists and the years they've been doing it. Patient with fibromyalgia. Now, I am a person who likes to work with a lot of issues with the bones and tendons and all of these things. So I was surprised when I saw this, that patient with fibromyalgia who were taught forgiveness education had a significant change in their symptoms. And there's also a very beautiful research that looked into 20 psychologically abused and divorced women. And after the forgiveness was being done, there was a lot of difference in them. There's a complete big survey and a research on this, but I've just taken the few important points here. So Lord Buddha says, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. But do not forget, you are the one who gets burned. We are the one who gets burned at the end of the day. Now, there's one more question which I came across. What if the person is not ready to accept or return the forgiveness? I am ready to forgive and I have forgiven that person, but that person doesn't seem to be taking in my forgiveness or is happy to accept what I've been telling. So in that case, you don't have to do anything. Every human being, every soul has a free will, whether they accept or not. If you forgive them, you are changing yourself and you are also changing the person who is there. You do not need a permission. You do not need that person has to accept your forgiveness. When you forgive that person, you get love and peace in your life. Your healing starts. Your higher self knows. The earthly mind at times does not understand. So if a person is more into the earthly mind, they might not understand what exactly is happening, but the higher self or the higher soul definitely knows what exactly is going on. Right. So now we're going to start with few techniques, few ways of learning forgiveness. So to start with, I would want you to sit. I'll give 5 minutes for each thing so that we sit and write down. So for the first part, if you have a notebook, if you have a A4 sheet, divide that into half. On the first side, write down the names of every single person that you feel has created any type of hurt, pain, or suffering in your life. Just go back to the beginning, maybe say from the time you were conceived till today. Today is 27th May 2020. Few of us are 17 years old, few of us are 37 years old, few of us are 47, 57, I don't know the max. So let us all look into those years, take 5 minutes and write down the name of the people or the relation or whoever it is that has created hurt, pain, or sufferings in our life. I want each and every one to write this down. Think hard, strain your mind, stress it a little, go back to the times where you felt someone or that particular event or that relationship has hurt you. Two minutes up. I'm going to give 30 more seconds and then we go to the other side of the page. I'm sorry for being like a school teacher to make you and sit and write down all these things. But I am also aware that if I had to give you this exercise and tell you to practice it on your own time, you wouldn't do it. We wouldn't do it at all. Okay, so now we move on to the other side of the page. So write down all the names of the people whom you feel you have hurt, either intentionally or unintentionally. On the other side of the page, write down the list of names and the people whom you feel you have hurt, either intentionally, unintentionally, knowingly, unknowingly. We go for another 30 seconds. It is in the doing that we're going to learn something, and it is definitely not in just the hearing that we're going to do something. Right. So I hope every one of you have made list. One side are the ones who have hurt you. Other side are the ones whom you have hurt. On the chat, I see, for me, I can't waste my energy into a particular situation or a person. It creates a block in your progress. Yes, it is definitely creating a block in your progress. Sometimes you are aware about it. Sometimes you are just not aware about it. So it is very important for you to clear that block. Sometimes we practice a lot of things, but we are not able to clear that block. And just by forgiving that person, say about for 2 days, 7 days, or 10 days, we are able to completely get rid of that block in our life. And this miracle is possible and has happened for quite a some people. Is forgiving has to do with continuing the relation, or I can forgive and just break the relation because it is more comfortable to me to quit. So there are two types of relations which we have, or two types of forgiveness which we do. Number one is that person is not of use to me and I don't want to keep any relationship with that person. So you forgive that person and you quit that relationship. There's another relationship or the forgiveness which we do to forgive, the family members or our relations whom we can't quit. We have to be with them for one reason or the other. So at those times also you forgive and you keep forgiving them whatsoever. I think it also depends. There's a question again here. It also depends on situation and how much a person is hurt. Yes, it definitely depends on the intensity of hurt or the situation, and accordingly, that much time is required for you to give in the forgiveness. For someone, it might be, as I said, just 2 days to forgive, but for few, it might even take a year to forgive all of those things. So the amount of forgiveness that each and every one, the relationship which we are into requires depends definitely on the situation and the intensity of that situation. Right. So now if you're ready, you have a list in front of you. What we're going to do next is basically show you some pictures so that you know what we're going to do. So the first one, the lady with the hands in front, that is what we call the blessing position. So when I say put your hands in blessing position, this is what you're going to do. Bring your hands in front of you. When I say the namaste position, you have to Hold your hands together and keep it near your heart. You see the heart chakra is exactly here in the center of your chest, and there is the crown chakra. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, the crown chakra is right on the top here. So in the further instructions, I'll have you go through the heart chakra and the crown chakra, so you know where exactly they are. This is the blessing position, and this is the namaste position. Going further, I will also tell you to cut your cords. To cut your cord, basically, if you see, this is a cord which is connected energetically. So going forward, I will tell you to imagine your right hand as a knife, and you take it right in front of your face down to the navel. So you cut. Your right hand is a sharp knife, and you cut the cord. So these are just illustrations which I wanted so that you know what exactly the cord is. These are energetic cords, they're not visible. But if they are there, connected, then there's a lot of problems which we face. Okay, so are we clear here? The earlier one, namaste position, the blessing position, heart and crown chakra, and here, cut the cord. When I say cut the cord, this is what I mean. So your right hand in front of you, right from the top of your head, it goes down to your navel. You cut the cord. Right. So I want you now to keep your pens down, sit in a very comfortable position. If you can, you please keep your hands in namaste position, close your eyes, and just keep hearing to me. There's nothing to look on the PPT here. It's all further instructions which I will give you. They are here in the PPT so that in future, whenever you go through this video, you will have all of these things written here. But for now, I want you to just relax, close your eyes, keep your hands in namaste position. Before we start, we're going to do a basic invocation that is a prayer. So, to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to all the holy gurus, holy masters, holy teachers, holy angels, holy ministers, to Lord of mercy, to Lord of forgiveness, I humbly invoke you for giving me the inner strength to forgive others, to forgive myself, and helping me to forgive others. I humbly invoke for your blessings to forgive us all in full faith. Now, you have made a list in front of you. I'm sure you remember the names in front of you. So bringing those names, or just whoever that person is, you recall all of them. At present, you are surrounded by healing white light. There's a white light which surrounds you, and I, that is you as a person, you will repeat after me, I am surrounded by healing white light. I forgive. Then you have the list of people, those who have hurt you. If you have the list in your mind, you can say it, or you can say the list which is in front of you. If you remember the name of the person, you can say the name. I forgive so and so person, and I forgive myself now. I release all the negative karmic energy that we have together in all of the time. I send you love and forgiveness. I call upon the power of God to cut any and all psychic karmic ties between myself and the list of the names which you have with you now. These psychic karmic ties are now severed, lifted, loved, healed, released, and let go into the light. I now fully accept and completely heal my relationship with so and so person. The list is in front of you. I now accept fully and completely the healing of my relationship with my wife, my father, my mother, my uncle, my auntie, my friend's name, my neighbor's name, whoever it is. I now accept fully and completely the healing of my relationship with this or the list of these people. So be it, So be it. So be it. Keeping your hands in the Namaste position right in front of your heart. Now think of that one particular soul that has hurt you the most out of the list which you have made. The most from the list that you have made. That one particular soul. Think of that one particular soul who has hurted you and who you wish to forgive at present, including yourself. And silently say, I, the soul, I salute the divinity within you. I, the soul, salute the divinity within you. I, the soul, salute the divinity within you. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of physical injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of physical injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of emotional injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of emotional injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of mental injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of mental injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of spiritual injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of spiritual injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of material and financial injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of material and financial injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of verbal injuries. I, the soul, forgive you for all types of verbal injuries. Now raise your hand in blessing position, raising your hand in blessing position and silently say, O Lord, please bless this soul with whatever is best for him or her. Thank you for blessing him, her with your mercy, your forgiveness, good health, long life, material and financial abundance, prosperity, spirituality, and illumination. Lord, please bless the soul with whatever is best for him, her. Thank you for blessing him or her with your mercy and your forgiveness. Thank you for erasing all the negative karma towards me. Thank you for erasing all the negative karma towards me. Thank you for erasing all the negative karma towards me. Put your hands down. And now we're going to cut the link from all the souls, from all the lists that we have in front of us. So I would want you to raise your hand right in front of your face and take it down and say cut once, cut twice, say cut thrice. So we have cut the link from all of these souls. Now put your hands in Namaste position again in front of your heart and silently say, you have been forgiven. Please go in peace. You have been forgiven. Please go in peace. You have been forgiven. Please go in peace. As you do, now concentrate on your heart chakra and your crown chakra. Raise your two hands in blessing position again. Visualize the person whom you want to forgive in front of you. That one particular soul whom you wish to forgive and who has hurted you a lot. Visualize that person whom you want to forgive. If it is uncomfortable, keep them as much far as you can, but just make sure that they are there. As you continue imagining the person in front of you, project loving kindness as you concentrate on your heart and crown chakra. Send that love, send that kindness energy which is going through from your heart and crown chakra. As you do, you also imagine that from your crown and heart chakra, there is a beautiful light golden, pink or violet color which is going towards that person, projecting loving and kindness energy from your heart and crown chakra, going towards the person who you wish to forgive. And as you do that, you can softly chant, say peace, shanti, or peace be with you. You can say peace, shanti, or peace be with you. Peace, shanti, or peace be with you. You are forgiven. You are forgiven. Let peace be with you. Putting your hands now in Namaste position again. To the Lords of Mercy, to the Lords of Forgiveness, thank you very much. I thank all for giving me inner strength to forgive this soul, to forgive myself, and helping me to forgive others. I thank you for all the blessings, with thanks and in full faith. So be it, so be it, so be it. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and take a deep breath, or rub your hands and rub it on your eyes. This is a simple exercise. It can look a little long for the first time. When you do it continuously, you can do it in, say, about 3 to 5 minutes. And likewise, if you have a list of people who you wish to forgive or who have to be forgiven, you can do this individually for that particular person. And before all, I would say the first person to be forgiven is your own self. So instead of forgiving the soul, where I said that whoever is the person whom you want to forgive, imagine that person in front of you. You can imagine yourself standing in front of you, and you forgive yourself for everything what you have done to yourself. The most important forgiveness, which I think, is to ourselves, and then going on to other people's in your life. Before we move on, if there's anyone willing to share anything, you can unmute yourself and you can share.
So please raise your hands or put it in the chat that you want to share. Okay, go ahead. Maha, please unmute yourself and talk. Thank you.
Yeah, I see you've written, I felt heaviness when raising my arms. Yes, you definitely feel the heaviness because, as I said, these are energy techniques. They are quite powerful. So you might feel that heaviness in you once you have done these forgiveness and you feel heavy in your head or in your body. You can just do a basic exercise to let go of that extra or heavy energy. You can move your hands or you can massage your head lightly. So that extra heaviness will go away.
So does that mean that this person, I have a heaviness towards him?
Yes, there's a possibility. See, as we all know about mental health, we all also understand that when you let go of something, your body is definitely going to react to something in some way or the other. So there's Amita Tokas who says, I have pain in my lower back and neck. So maybe there's some connection there. Sana Wadhwa says, I feel heavy in my head, one side, left side, but feels lighter in the body after the exercise. Yes, at times there's both to it. As you keep doing more of it, you feel the lightness rather than the heaviness. I felt dizzy. Yes, that is the reason I made sure that you were in a comfortable place. For the first or second time, you feel dizzy, you feel heavy, you are, like your emotions are just coming out of your body, you feel like crying. All of this is just a normal thing which happens when you start forgiving the person who has hurt you or whom you have hurt. There have been several incidents that have hurt me by the same person. The forgiveness can't be so easy. Absolutely. As I said earlier, it takes time. It takes few days, few months, and sometimes years also to give that forgiveness to that person. But if you do not give that forgiveness to that person, then you're carrying it along with you for the next incarnations to come. There are also other ways to do the forgiveness, which we'll go further. So this is one of the very powerful technique by Master Chow Kok Sui and Pranic Healing. Now, as we go further, there's another technique which also works like writing a blank check. So during full moon or something, we write the check of abundance. Likewise, you can also write a blank check for forgiveness. So it's just like all of this. You bring in all the people, all of the souls you want to forgive, or all the incidents, issues you want to forgive, and then you cancel or you say paid in full. This is one of the technique. The other one is also writing a letter to that soul who has hurt you by exactly putting in the information.
Gina, you can unmute yourself and talk, please. And others, please mute yourself. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Ali. Thanks.
Hi.
I just want to know, so we do this exercise, but how do you know that I've truly forgiven? What if I'm doing it and in my heart I've not actually forgiven? Or how can I know that I'm good to go?
Okay. So as you keep practicing this exercise, like if I have to tell you that if you practice this for 10 days, in 10 days time, you would get to know whether you've started forgiving or not. So based on the situation, based on the intensity of that person or that whatever he or she has done, you start seeing that once after 2 days, 3 days time, when you have to project that person in front of you, suddenly you see that person smiling, suddenly you see that person fading away, suddenly all those intensity and those emotions are not as heavy as they were earlier. So usually we say this a check on your own self and awareness that your body starts giving you once you have started forgiving that particular person. So all these people who said I had pain in my lower back, I felt dizzy, I felt light, this is an indication that that heaviness or that forgiveness is basically working because you took that step further to forgive that person to attain your inner peace and freedom. If I have answered that for you, Tina.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. There are two techniques, as I said. Writing a check is writing just like abundance check. We write down a forgiveness check and we cancel or paid in full. So we have forgiven all of that. The second one is writing a letter. So if you are a person who wants to express your grief and hurt to the person who has hurt you, you can just, instead of blaming or having that recording in your own self, you can write down everything, what was said, what was done, and then that letter, which is in front of you, you can burn that letter. Or many a times we take that letter and we imagine a violet flame, and that violet flame, we are burning the letter. So we're letting go of all those emotions, all those hurt and resentments which are there. What if the situation repeat? There's a possibility the situation repeats, but if you've been forgiving that person for quite a long time or that situation for quite a long time, the intensity of that event would not be as same as you had earlier. Yes, hurt from different people repeats, but then as a soul, we usually come to an understanding that once if something happens in our life, then we are very careful the second time or sometimes the third time, or if we have been that, sometimes we after 20 times also, we wouldn't understand that this is the pattern of my life and have been repeating this. So maybe we have to look into that. There are many other techniques. Going further, there's one thing which is called Zebu, angelic symbols. If you are aware about it, this is the symbol for forgiveness. So all you have to do is draw this simple symbol 3 times in the air, just 3 times in the air, and say Anka. You can also choose to affirm at that time. You can say the affirmation, I choose to lighten my heart through forgiveness of myself and others. So this is a very generic forgiveness. You can use it every day, but the first forgiveness which we did, you can make use of that by doing that particularly for that soul, for that person whom you're not able to forgive, where the intensity of that event or that person has been quite high. But day long, you can definitely use in this Zebu and angelic symbols. You draw the symbol 3 times. Once it is done, you say Anka. And if you are a person of affirmation, then you can keep using this affirmation all day long. I choose to lighten my heart through forgiveness of myself and others. The other one is using forgiveness using switch words. Switch words are again a very powerful modality wherein it's very simple. It's very simple, which we say, together forgive divine. Together forgive divine. You can use zero symbols and switch words together as well. You can use bow, conceit, together divine, where divine together is a master switch word, as they say, means bringing whatever you want. It aligns the subconscious and the conscious selves as one. This is together. And divine is to work miracles, to enhance. So when you say together and divine and use the word forgive, so you're forgiving everything at once. Basically, switch words are chanted like together forgive divine. You together forgive divine. You chant this for 10 times, 28 times, or 108 times, which they traditionally say, or at times, as much as time you feel which is right for you. So a person can also be saying the same thing for, say, about 200 times. If you think this is not going to work, then that is wrong. These are very powerful switch words and they definitely work. Then coming to a technique using Bach Flower Remedy. Bach flowers have been one of the most powerful remedies which I usually use with my patients, my clients, no matter what they come for. So there are basic flowers which I found out which we can use it as an forgiveness remedy. So the first flower is beech. Beech is for a kind of person who's kind of fault finder, who criticizes stuff, who's very sarcastic, so this beech will help you in removing the tolerance and refines the communication. The person becomes very smooth in their communication, has that loving energy when they are ready. Walnut basically is a link breaker, is for something to move through your life. It will help you in your process of forgiveness. It helps in the transition of your life. Willow is for resolving resentments through forgiveness. It's for self-pity and bitterness. A lot of bitterness when you have in yourself, we make use of willow. There's pine, which is more to do with guilt, self-blame, self-reproach, shame, unworthy and undeserving. When you feel all of these, we make use of pine. And then a century, which is for people who cannot tell no. They are just not willing to say no or are weak-willed. So if I'm going to use a combination of beech, walnut, willow, pine, and century as a basic, and then I'm going to see all the situation, what other emotion the person is having, and based on that, if I'm going to make a composite and give it to the person to have it 4 times a day, either in sugar pills or water, it's going to bring a remarkable difference in that person's life. So there is this beautiful quote which says, you can't undo anything you have already done, but you can face up to it, you can tell the truth, you can seek forgiveness, and then let God do the rest. So what is done, it cannot be undone. But if we forgive that particular thing, I'm sure there's God who can do the rest. Now, the most important technique, which I'm an advanced practitioner for, which is emotional freedom technique. I am putting in the basic points here in front of you, and I'm sure in further sessions, Anu has also done the tapping of it. So I might not go a detail into it, but I'll just go basics with the points which you already know and are aware about. So there's an image right in front of you. Now, basically on the karate chop point, where exactly it is here, for those who don't know, we just say, even though I haven't forgiven myself for, I completely and acceptably love myself. Even though I still beat myself up for, and then you fill yourself, whatever that situation or event is, I forgive and honor myself. Even though I'm holding on to this situation, here be specific with what the situation is, I now let go of it right away. Even though a part of me is stuck there and continues to blame that person for my own self, I am now willing to let go of the past now. Even though I totally refuse to forgive. This can be used especially for the people, those who are finding it really difficult to forgive anyone. Even though I totally refuse to forgive this person, put in the person's name, it's okay. Even though I completely refuse to forgive the past, whatever it is, I love and accept my feelings. So these are different types of tapping which we use, statements which we use for tapping for forgiveness. You can devise your own statement here. You already have a list wherein the people, those who have hurt you and those who have hurt them, you can take each and every person, go on to the situation or incident, and then accordingly you can devise your statements and start tapping on them.
Ali, you're resonating.
Yes.
Your voice is resonating.
I guess it stopped now. Is it still resonating? You find an echo?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So these are the basic EFT tapping techniques. The practice of forgiveness is our most important contribution to the healing of the world. Healing of the world, when it comes, I'm just reminded about the unprecedented times which we are in now, where the world is going through the COVID-19. So all of us and present here, and I'm sure we could also influence others to just take a minute every day to forgive a Mother Earth. If we could do that, I'm sure things will change and everything will come back to its plane as early as possible. Because many a times, most of the times, we humans are selfish. We have done things according to our own will. We have neglected the Mother Earth, the nature. And to some extent, I feel that whatever is happening worldwide might be because of this. So if we every day can take that 1 minute to forgive Mother Earth, forgive ourselves of what we have done to Mother Earth, and send those blessings of love and kindness to Mother Earth, everything will change very soon. Okay, now this is a technique from Access Consciousness, where it says, who does it belong to? Return to the sender. This is a question which is being used, or you can also say that it's a statement which is used, but it is a very powerful technique. All you have to do is, who does it belong to? Return to the sender. The key concept is 98% of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions do not belong to you. They are from somewhere else. So all of a sudden you wake up and you find yourself cranky, you are feeling upset, you're feeling low, and you really don't know what exactly has happened. This is your statement to be used, which is, who does this belong to? Return to the sender. That is all you have to do. You do not have to think, who does it belong to? You just keep repeating it, saying, who does this belong to? Return to the sender. I'm sure if you can use this technique for 1 day continuously, you will find changes in you. It works like magic. for some techniques, for some therapies, for some modalities, you can't give an explanation, but they work. And this is one of those techniques which absolutely works. Who does it belong to? Return to the sender. Okay, so now I also came across few basic things which I thought, when you are angry, if all of a sudden there's an anger in you for no reason or for not understanding what exactly happened, I mean, you can use this very simple thing where you can touch your heart and just say, God blessings and peace be with me and be with you. God blessings and peace be with me and be with you. So repeat it 7 times. Like if you are in front of your parents or your spouse or your children and you are getting angry on them or about to say or losing your control, using your cool, you just stand there still and just say, God's blessing and peace be with me and be with you 7 times. If you do this 7 times, you will automatically see that there is from somewhere a calmness, a stillness, and a relaxation which comes to you. It works like magic. It is miracle to me. If you want, you can try this out, and I'm sure you'll be surprised. And then this is again very small thing which we say. So again, I want you all to close your eyes. All of this is there in the PPT, which you can note it down later or have it for your own self. So I wish and I request everyone to kindly again close your eyes. This is especially for someone who has hurt you. So we had first written down a list of people who has hurt us in the past. So now I want you to imagine maybe that one particular person or all of them right in front of you. And close your eyes, keep your hands in Namaste position and say, I salute the divinity within you. I salute the Atma, that is the soul within you. Namaste, I forgive you. You are forgiven by Lord God. Let peace be with you. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let peace be with you. Please go in peace. Now, when you have hurt someone, so the list of people whom we have hurt, we bring all of them in right in front of us, and then mentally we say, I salute the divinity within you. I came to know my role about hurting you and generating negative karma out of that. I ask for forgiveness with peace. I have realized my mistake and I apologize for that. Please go in peace. I have realized my mistake and I apologize for that. Please go in peace. I ask for forgiveness. Lord God, forgive me for my mistake. Thank you for giving and neutralizing my negative karma. Thank you for forgiving and neutralizing my negative karma. Right. You can come back when you're ready. Open your eyes. So this has been the journey of forgiveness, where we have learned quite a different tools and a lot of different techniques are there. You can again go through them at the leisure of your time. You can make a note of it, write it down, and start practicing every day. So this has been the first part of the power of 3. Now, second and third part will be going a little quicker, but again, I will need a lot of yourself available to get these things done. So now we come to gratitude. What do you think gratitude is? So let's have an interaction again. What do you think is gratitude? I really like this statement where it says it is a natural form of antidepressant. Gratitude is a natural form of antidepressant. What do you think, according to you, is gratitude? You can unmute yourself and talk, or you can put it on the chat.
So guys, put it on the chat, and then if you really want to speak, do let me know. I will unmute you.
Gratitude is complete surrender to the divine. Hello.
Yep.
Can you
It's
hear
complete
me?
surrender to the divine. Yes,
It's
I did get
complete
you.
surrender, you know, that whatever you give me, I accept wholeheartedly.
Okay.
And grateful for whatever comes my way.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Archana.
I'm Vandana here.
Okay, Vandana. Thank you, Dr. Vandana. Dr. Archana also wants to speak. Yes.
I think gratitude is being thankful for everything that you have, from getting up in the morning, from breathing to going to the loo, being thankful for everything, not just to one person or XYZ, to everybody and everything, every energy, everything that you've come across in life. Just being thankful, I think, is being in gratitude.
Okay, so if I have to ask, is this gratitude only for the things which we have, or also for the things that are coming our way, not the way we have asked for or manifested, are ready to receive for?
Ali, there are a lot of people who put in chats.
Yes, yes, and no. Yes, I'm having a look at it. So Amita says, be thankful for everyone and everything in your life. Maha says, feeling blessed and thankful. Sana says, gratitude is being grateful for everything we have. And by looking around what people are suffering, we have many blessings. Absolutely. When you look around, you know what blessings you have and how much grateful you have to be in your life.
Exactly.
Elena says,
Ali, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I meant. Like by even being thankful that you can get up in the morning and go to the washroom. When you look at people in the hospitals with catheters in them, I mean, it's an absolute gratitude that you can even move your limbs or muscles.
Yes.
So I think it's everything, you know.
Everything. Absolutely.
Even the breath you take, because I'm asthmatic, I know that when I get into a bout of asthma, every breath is like gratitude there.
Gratitude.
To understand the value of that particular thing. Comes from the pit. It's not superficial. It's never superficial. That's gratitude.
Absolutely. There is Seema who's wanting to talk. Then we have Uma.
Uma says, gratitude is understanding that some good karma brought me to earth, and I bow to the divine for acknowledging and giving me a heaven on earth. Shamla says, feeling blessed, I'm thankful. Okay.
Yeah, you have Seema. Please unmute yourself and speak. Thank you.
Yeah, for me, gratitude is like, since the time Anu has started these sessions, I tell you, I've been into a gratitude mode since then. I've been like, thanking each and everything and each and every person who I'm meeting, because something or the other they are teaching me. They are like, showing me new directions, which, I never ever would have seen, or, in a way, like I am growing also, and somehow getting closer to the divine. So yeah, I can say this is, I feel the gratitude, and Anu has played a major role for me in this part.
Thank you, and deep acknowledgement.
Before meeting her, I really had lot of questions in my mind. My mind was like, just non-stop. It was going on and on, like it was working. Like, I mean, I have no words. But, I'm getting all the answers little by little, slowly. And everything is becoming more clear. There is a kind of clarity. Today also, like your session, it's a very, very awesome session, Mr. Ali, I must say. I mean, though I joined late, but little whatever I joined. And after your session, like when I cut the cord, I was like almost weeping,
Yes.
And I think I need to do this more, because my I don't know what should I say, because I think I have to still go on cutting the cord. I don't know whether I have to still cut the cord or no.
You definitely have to keep going for a long time.
Yeah. My issue is very long. Like my issue is from past 25 years. So I really don't know after cutting this. I mean, for me, cutting this cord was very simple. So I don't think so this is going to heal my, what I'm going through, or whether it's going to be successful. So I think I have to go on and on and on cutting. So
yes, you have to go on and on, because it's not just one cord which you are connected to, but there are hundreds and sometimes even 1,000 cords that we are connected to.
This is what I felt when you said cut the cord. I said, "ऐसे थोड़ी इतना जल्दी थोड़ी हो गया, ये एक ही cord हुआ, मेरे को तो बहुत सारे हैं."
Absolutely. Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. And yes, I would say not deep gratitude, but I would say tons of gratitude to Dr. Anupata.
Yes.
Because
And I really bless Anu. I don't know what she's going through in life. I can feel that even she's going through a lot of whatever. So I really wish it all eases her, as she's helping me ease mine, So
absolutely.
Thank you, Seema.
I can't,
that
like,
means a lot.
When she talks something, I just can't see her talking like that. So I always, she's there always in my prayer, because somehow she's helped me to reach a third world, like, which I call a third world. There's another third world also, So gratitude to her, gratitude to all the people in this group, gratitude to you also today, Ali. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ali is amazing today. Ali, go on.
Thank
You're
you.
doing brilliant job.
Anu.
And Ali, I must tell you, Dil Mange more. We need more sessions.
Yes, you'll definitely see. The reason I would say that I'm here, definitely that's only because of Anu.
Yes.
No one else. So I would say not deep gratitude, but I would say tons of gratitude for molding me and to being the person who I am today.
Yes.
Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
But you have to give yourself, all of you have to acknowledge yourself, because your presence is equally important, guys.
Important, yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being on this session. A deep gratitude from my side again. Anja says,
Anya.
Okay, sorry. Anya says, we unfortunately take everything for granted. Now, this is what I was looking for. That's a brilliant thing which you have said. We unfortunately take everything for granted.
Yes.
If I have got something like this, what is big about it? I deserve it.
Exactly.
I would like to say something here, a part of my story, or a part, I would say a snippet of my life, where I completed my master's in bioinformatics when I was in Chennai before moving on to Nagpur in the year 2008. I completed my master's. Going a little more further, I'm going to rewind here so that I bring into you what exactly gratitude to me is. And after completing my 12th standard, I really wished to get into, aeronautical engineering. But at that moment in time, in India, there were only 3 to 4 colleges, or what we say universities, and the cutoff score which they required and the fees which they had was something which I was not able to work on it or acknowledge it. So I then went into doing something else. I did my bachelor's in biochemistry, and I was more inclined towards something with biology and computers. So I found bioinformatics. Once I'd done, I spoke to many professors and everyone, and they said, yes, bioinformatics is the next thing, and it's going to change everyone's life, and there's a lot of into it. So I did my master's in bioinformatics, and after completing that, I was not able to get a single job, not only in bioinformatics, but not also in the IT industry. I once then found myself sitting at HCL Technologies and taking a call wherein I was working in a call center. After completing my master's in bioinformatics, after 5 to 6 years, the amount of expectation that your parents have in you sometimes is more than what you have dreamt for. So I was sitting in HCL Technologies, talking to the clients, wherein receiving the call and saying, thank you for calling AT&T Services. My name is Ali, and how can I help you? But that 6 months is where the change happened. Those 6 months is the reason what I am today and where I am today. There was a lot of questioning. There was a lot of brainstorming going on in those 6 months' time, which made me, I am what I am today. So I'm in deep gratitude to those 6 months. If I was the person who would have thought that I have completed a master's in bioinformatics and I do not deserve to be working in a call center, wherein even a person who's completed that 12th standard or a basic degree is equal to me, I wouldn't have been here where I am today. So yes, I'm in deep gratitude to the situation. For me, gratitude is wherein that tear comes in your eyes when you see something beautiful happening in front of you. Today, I had the opportunity, I'm into social service, I'm a Rotarian, where I had the opportunity to give away 550 dozens of banana to the area around us. 550 dozens. Those bananas were to be thrown away if they were not being distributed before 5 p.m. today. We got an opportunity, we spoke to the person, we bought them, and those 550 dozens of banana almost fed 100 to 200 families who in these difficult times are not able to afford one-time meal. So that is what to me is gratitude, that I was given that chance, given that opportunity to go and give my side to the society. For me, that is gratitude. Sana also says, I have to really owe tons of gratitude to Anuman for these lovely sessions and tons of gratitude to Nutanji for getting me connected to such a lovely forum when I needed the most. Deep gratitude to Alisa for the lovely session. And I'm learning so much from you, sir. Thank you very much, Sana ma'am. So going further, for me, the word gratitude, you have to break that into it. GR and attitude. So GRA for me is go right ahead. You know what is the meaning of attitude? So go right ahead and do the bit. Be thankful for what you have today. Be thankful for what the situation you are in today. There is a possibility that it's not the thing which you've asked for or which has been manifested for you. But yes, definitely, if you be grateful today, then tomorrow it'll be fruitful. So there's a very brilliant saying by Zig Ziglar, which says, gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to express gratitude for. So it's not like that gratitude comes and goes off. You're grateful today, tomorrow you'll be more grateful for what that particular gratitude has created for you. These are the key synonyms of, like gratitude is acknowledging, appreciate, grace, gracefulness, gratefulness, praise, recognition, requital, responsiveness, thankfulness. So now again, I want you to pick up your pen and your book. And first thing which I would ask you is, what are you grateful for about in this new normal? I'm sure everyone is well versed with the term new normal, the lockdown time or the COVID-19 time. So this is the new normal which we are going through. So what is that one thing which you are grateful for? One is for yourself and one is for another. So what are you grateful for yourself and for the other person? Can we all write this down, please? What are you grateful for about in this new normal? Once you are done, please write down who are those three people in your life that you're grateful for. Because this is to do with three, the power of three. Here we're going to take three things, three persons, whatever it will be in three. Three people that you are grateful in your life. Once you have written the 3 people who are grateful in your life, write down 3 things that you're grateful for in your life. 3 things that you are grateful for in your life. Once you're done, write down 3 things, and it can be anything, whether it is to do with hearing, seeing, smelling, touch, feel, taste. 3 things. I'm thankful for the taste of ice creams in my life. I love ice creams. So I'm thankful that the person, whoever has made ice cream. So what is that other thing which you are thankful for that you get to hear every day? What is that one thing that you are grateful for that you get to see every day? There's a very brilliant saying by someone who said, as you breathe right now, another person takes us last. We suggest you stop complaining and learn to live your life with what you have got. I hope everyone is done with their list of 3 things. 3 people in life, 3 things in life, 3 things, whether it can be anything you can, that you hear, smell, see, touch, feel, taste. And the most important, what are you grateful for about in this new normal? For me, this new normal has helped me in reading books. So like we always, being the profession which we are, we get to read the books which are technical, which are into our field, which are going to give us information that we really want, but we never get time, or I never got time to go into other genres of book. So this lockdown or this new normal has helped me break that particular blockage or that hurdle, and I was able to read other books. So maybe till now, in this lockdown, I've read 10 different books, each from somewhere 200 to 300 pages, each book. So, and I've learned a lot of things. So this is what I am grateful for in this new normal. The other thing is that I am grateful for is I am able to do a lot of social service in this new normal than the whole of the self. I am the director. If you are aware about Rotary and how the thing works, there is a director of youth services. So the person who is working for youth, and then youth has Rotrax and Interax. So Rotrax is for college students aged 18 to 30. Interax is for school students who are 12 years till 18 or that particular age. So in this lockdown time, I was able to get a platinum citation for these 4 Rotrax which I have under me, and I was able to submit the citation. Citation is nothing but an international recognition that this particular Rotrax club has worked their best in helping the society or bringing new thing to society or working for the society. So I was, or I would say, I had the opportunity to maybe be with them, to guide them, or be along with them in their journey. So their college or their club received the platinum services. So I am grateful that I had been chosen as the director of this particular source where I was able to influence the youth. Okay. Then we have here, which says a lot of me time. Yes, a lot of us have got into that me time. Maha says, the new normal gave me the chance to meet this group. Absolutely. Vandana says, I'm grateful for some wonderful people in my life. I've been able to conduct many online sessions and learn so many things. Here, I would again say some wonderful people. If you can list them, put them to the specific, then you can be grateful to a more extent, and that will bring a better acknowledgement to your soul. I would have never met Anu and all the wonderful participants and speakers. Thank you, Corona. Yes, we have one person who says, yay, thank you, Corona. Amita says, learning that key of my life is with me only, and I have made my choices and looking forward for more blessings to make right choices and doing workout. Great. Okay, so moving ahead, the benefit of gratitude, which we all know, it improves physical health, improves our sleep, improves psychological health. There's a lot of empathy which works in, aggression goes away, more of social connection. It enhances our self-esteem and improves our mental strength. Just by being grateful for what you have or what is happening in your life. Vandana says, my daughter gets to live with me due to lockdown. Oh, something really brilliant. So here again, I would want you to make use of your pen and paper. There are a few basic questions. There are only 6 questions here right in front of you. All you have to do is give them a score, which says 1 is strongly disagree, 2 is disagree, slightly disagree, 4 is neutral, 5 is slightly agree, 6 is agree, 7 is strongly agree. So if I have to give you an example, the number 1 question which says, I have so much in life for which to be thankful for. So I would say 7, I strongly agree. If I had to list everything that I felt grateful for, it would be a very long list. I would say again a 7. So I would like every one of you, if you can just put down 1 and then put in your score beside it. It'll just take a few seconds. Aarti says, time with my husband. I got to even spend me time with mom and Angel. That's brilliant, Aarti.
So how I felt was, Ali, that for the first time in my life, I wasn't running to something or running away from anything.
Yes.
And I felt blessed to connect with all my friends. And I felt that during the lockdown, I was able to open many locks of my life. I yet have many locks to open. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Anu. So these 6 questions, if you have put down their scores, do we move ahead? Okay. Once this is done, what you have to do is add up your scores for the items, for the questions 1, 2, 4, and 5. Add your scores for the questions 1, 2, 4, and 5. And then for 3 and 6, you will reverse your scores. So if you have scored 7, then you give 1. If you have scored 6, then you put down 2. The other way around, reverse scores. Okay, I'm going to go back to that slide once again. Okay. The question slide, 6 questions, very simple. You just have to give in the score, which is here from 1 to 7, whether you strongly disagree, to use 7, which is strongly agree. Anu, do we have time to continue?
How much time would you require?
I would say another 20 minutes, if that's okay.
Can we make it 15?
Okay,
because
we'll go a little quicker.
It's 11:27.
7, yes.
So if we can wind up in another 15 minutes, because Binayfer has to do the reading also.
Okay, okay.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'll do my best. Okay,
thank you.
So I'm going to move further.
Don't be in hurry. I'll see how we can create time
sure.
for you, okay? Yeah.
So the question 1, 2, 4, and 5, whatever the scores are, add them.
1 minute, Ali. Could you go back again, please?
Okay, go back again.
Back.
Yes.
Yeah. Just give me 2 minutes more.
Sure, sure. Grateful to be alive and to be seeing husband 24/7, and grateful my daughter spending quality time with her daddy. Yes. Something to be, or say, memories to be cherished for lifelong.
How do you change the score for 3 and 5?
So 3 and 5, all you have to do is
yeah, Ali, you done. You can go to the
done.
next slide. Thank you so
You
much.
just have to put it around. So if you have given a score of 7, then you give a 1. If you have given a score of 6, then you give a 2.
Okay.
If your score is 5, then you give a 3.
Okay.
Other way around. So here you add up the scores of 1, 2, 4, and 5, and then you add up scores of 3 and 6 after reversing them. And then add all of them together. When you add both of them together, you get a score, and there's an interpretation at the bottom where the top, the score which we are looking for should be somewhere above 40 or 42, which says that is the level of gratitude in you. If it is lesser, then maybe you have to practice a more of gratitude. Done? So basically, this is something to just know that where your GQ score is all about, gratitude. So the other techniques which we're going to practice today, or maybe just go through them in gratitude, is about journaling. I'm sure many people or many of us have the habit of journaling things down, writing one or the other thing out. So journaling is nothing but writing down at the end of the day or the beginning of the sunrise, what have you been grateful for? There's gratitude jar. Basically, I write down one thing which I'm grateful for, and I keep putting it into the gratitude jar. So this is especially if we are working in corporates, have a gratitude jar, keep putting in, and maybe by the end of the day or next day, pass on to each and everyone and see what they've been grateful for. I mean, that it works miracle. So wherein one person says, I'm just grateful that I was able to reach home at time wherein my parents had visited me after years. And when the other person who is not willing to give that time to the parent understands what exactly he has been missing or avoiding in his life. Then there is gratitude reflection, and then my love for tapping, gratitude tapping. Right. So again, over here, I would want you to close your eyes. You have your list, which is written in front of you. So just close your eyes, sit in a relaxed position. You know what you have been grateful for the people, for the things, for the smell, taste, what you see, what you hear, what you feel. Sitting in a relaxed position, I would want you all to take a few deep, calming breaths and just relax yourself. As you do that, let your awareness move to your immediate environment. All the things you can smell, taste, touch, see, and hear. Say to yourself, for this, I am grateful. For this, I am grateful. Bring to the mind those people in your life to whom you are close. Your friends, your family, your partner, your neighbors, and say to yourself, for this, I am grateful. Now turn your attention onto yourself. You are a unique individual, blessed with imagination, the ability to communicate, to learn from the past, and plan for the future. To overcome any pain you may be experiencing. For this, say to yourself, I am grateful. Life is a precious gift that you have born into a period of immense prosperity, that you have the gift of health, culture, and access to spiritual teachings. For this, say to yourself, I am grateful. And many other things that you have mentioned on the note right in front of you. Grateful for the new normal, the things which happened. Grateful for those people, for those things, for everything that you can hear, smell, taste, feel, touch. And grateful above all for your own self to be able to do things the way they are. Open your eyes whenever you're ready. So just like what we did, forgiveness tapping, there's something called gratitude tapping, which again goes back to the point, karate chop point. Even though I'm busy all the time, or at that moment, or I never have time. There are people who say, "Saas lene ki fursat nahi hai. I don't have the time to take breath in my life." So for such people, even though I'm busy all the time, I feel grateful for all that I have in my life. Even though I don't acknowledge enough how grateful I am, I deeply and completely love myself. Even though I have more than I realize, I choose to feel lots of gratitude now. These are few tapping statements. You can create your own tapping statements and then continue with the tapping points. So again, there's the Zebu angelic symbol. And the thing is, I found really brilliant here. I am not much into the Zebu angelic symbols, but I found this and I loved it. And here, this is in front of you. So all you have to do is this symbol right in front of you. You put it 3 times in the air and then say Anu. And say Anu, everyone together. 3 times right in the air and then say Anu.
Anu.
Gratitude is Anu.
Gratitude is Anu.
Anu.
Gratitude is Anu.
And if you are thank you everyone. And if you are a person who loves affirmation, then I magnify the positive in my life as I attract even more blessings and I give thanks. You can keep affirming this and you can draw this symbol. Okay, so that is what was with gratitude. Coming to the last part, which is a little bit shorter, which is acceptance and allowance. So are these two words the same, acceptance and allowance?
No.
What do you think is acceptance and what do you think is allowance?
Means I accept everything, and allowance means I allow only what I feel I want to allow.
Okay.
Is it okay?
I will tell you in detail going further what it is.
When you are allowing something, you are given a choice. You choose to allow. You may not choose to allow. But acceptance is 100% against surrender.
Okay.
There is no logical buddhi in it that whether I will allow this or not.
Okay. So Sana also says acceptance is accepting the person, situation the way it is. Okay.
Acceptance is surrendering and allowing is still having control.
Okay. Right. So going further, let's see what is it But before that, I am too much of an exercise person. And as I said earlier, that this is what we'll be doing because this is the time when we practice, we get to know. So again, I want you to pick up your pen and write down on your paper the list of names, things, issues that you are not in acceptance, that you have not accepted in your life, or you can't accept, or you are thinking to accept. And then we go further with what exactly acceptance is and what is allowance. Write down the list of names, things, issues that you have not accepted till date, or you find it difficult to accept, or the allowance which you say, allowing something, write that down. We're going to take only a minute here. Okay, so going further, let's see what exactly is acceptance. If I would operate from acceptance, it would be more important to be accepted by others. There is a strong desire to fit in, which in turn means I have to constantly be in judgment if my actions are approved. I am someone else who wants me to be. Acceptance also means to agree with more common point of view in regards to how one behaves. That is what is right or wrong. This is acceptance. I have to be approved by the other person. Will the other person like me the way I am? And it is important for me to be accepted by the other person. So I might change myself the way the other person wants me to. That is acceptance. Approval. Many times we want approval from the authorities in our life. And until we get the approval from the authorities, we keep changing ourselves or working the ways that we are not ready to, or maybe we're not wishing or willing for. It very clearly and simply says, I am who someone else wants me to be. That is acceptance. Now, what is allowance? So allowance is a creative energy. Allowance allows you to be in question that allows you to change anything. Basically, if this person is like this, it's fine. Let him be the way he is. I am an allowance of that person. I know that he is authoritative. I know that maybe I will need his approval for many things. And I am an allowance of that person, the way he is. They say if you have no allowance, you cannot receive. And if you cannot receive, you cannot have success or you do not proceed further. Receiving is a very important thing, which if it's not there, there is a lot of things which we, fail to understand or fail to get. So with allowance, I can let another person have their point of view, despite me having a total different one, without having the need to either defend my point of view or have any emotion come up. With allowance, I can be friends with someone who does not see the world my way, based on the fact that the person is kind or funny or likes to do things with others, etc. And I can choose to be with who I am without having the need of someone else's approval. I know I love that person or I like that person, but again, he does not do certain things the way I wish to do. And I'm fine with it. I am in allowance. But if you are in acceptance, then you will not accept that person because that person is not doing this according to me. Are we clear here? with the difference between acceptance and allowance?
Please put in the chat whether everybody's clear.
Yeah.
Not very clear.
Uma says acceptance is somehow a negative word and allowance is a free will. Yes. Negative word in sense, acceptance. Sometimes you have to accept the situation the way it is. Okay. There are many people who are not ready to accept what exactly is happening in today's time. There are people who are in allowance. Okay, that's fine. All this is happening. The lockdown has happened, and we are at home. We are spending time, or we are wasting time. And at the same time, there are people who are thinking, "Oh, I have a loss of so much of business in my life. How do I accept this lockdown by the government? I really do not accept. How will the government come and pay me for what I am losing, or what this my financial year is going to be like?" That is about acceptance. The person is not ready to accept, because in acceptance there are those terms and conditions which they are going through. But in allowance, fine, the person is like, okay, that's brilliant. I have been looking for such time in my life, and this lockdown has changed it completely. I know I'm not going to maybe have a turnover which I had in the last 5 years time, but I'm in allowance. It's okay. Let me enjoy the time with my family. Let me enjoy the me time, or let me utilize this time in learning something or giving away something to the people. This is in allowance. Okay. So it means acceptance is compromising. Yes. Vandana says this has been a very tough time at work and many chorus pressures at home. Absolutely. But you're still doing it. So there is something with acceptance. Now, if I have to say, if you are enjoying this, then you are in allowance. You know that it's a difficult time and there's a lot of pressure at home, especially for the ladies, because you have men's at home who are not doing anything. They are hungry, they are cranky, they have their territorial issues coming up. You are at home, you have your own territorial issues, or issues that this is the way how my days goes, and the husband or the man says this is the way how my days goes. And if you are actually not ready to accept the situation. But if a person is allowance, then the person says, okay, I know I have to be home. I also know that you have to be home. You can do whatever you want to do at this time. I can do whatever I want to do this time. That is in being an allowance. So Sana says acceptance is not wholeheartedly, an allowance is true willingness of a situation. Yes, that is right.
Sana, you wanted to ask a question. Please unmute and ask.
Syamla says allowing is giving permission. Yes. Helena says absolutely. Meta health leads to allowance. So this is what is the difference between acceptance and allowance. Allowance is being yourself and knowing the things which are right in front of you. Acceptance is about, in a very simple term, it has to be according to me. Why is this lockdown announced? It shouldn't have announced. The government should have waited for a few more days and given us proper instruction, given us time to do this, given us time to do that. That is, in a way, you are in acceptance. And those in allowance, they would say, the government knows better. They must have seen something. That is the reason all of this has happened at once or at one stretch. So that is being in allowance. Yes? So here I'm going to use very simple but a powerful technique again from Access Consciousness. Basically, Access Consciousness is a set of processes and tools developed to help remove the unconscious limitations that may be holding you back in many areas of life. Unconscious limitations that are holding you back in many areas of life. So consciousness is being in state of allowance of everything and judging nothing. So you don't have to judge anything. You just have to be in allowance of everything. This is what is Access Consciousness. And in Access Consciousness, there are questions which you ask and there are processes which you run. So basic, the question is to just ask a simple question. You're not looking for an answer, but you are just questioning the universe in front of you, and it is up to the universe to give a response, a reply the way it has to. So if I have to ask about, being in allowance, I would say, if I'm not being in allowance and if I'm being in acceptance, then I would keep asking this question: what's right about this situation that I'm not getting? What's right about this that I'm not getting? So you can fill up that this with whatever situation that you're going through, or that person. So if you are having issues with your spouse or with your family members or your siblings, and you really don't understand what exactly is happening, so in that situation you can make use of this powerful question: what's right about this, or what's right about my brother that I'm not getting? What's right about my sister that I'm not getting? Usually, we all are conditioned to think, what is wrong in this situation? कहाँ पे गलती हो रही है यार मेरी, कि ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा मुझे? So instead of asking the wrong thing here, what's right about this that I'm not getting? So if you keep asking this question with that situation, a lot of awareness will come, a lot of way the situation will keep opening itself. So what would it take for me to forgive this issue with ease, joy, and glory? So if I have to say, what would it take for me to forgive my father with ease, joy, and glory? What would it take for me to forgive my father with ease, joy, and glory? It can be your mother, it can be your spouse, it can be your sibling, it can be that situation, it can be that boss of yours, it can be your partner, it can be your colleague, whatever it is. The other beautiful question is, what actually is required today? What's actually required of me today, or what actually is required today? What is the gift in this that I'm not getting? Most of the time, there are hidden gifts which we do not understand, or hidden situations which we do not understand. And going further in a life, we get to know that. So what is the gift in this that I'm not seeing? Then there's a beautiful clearing statement, which is very powerful. I will not go into detail of it, but it is as simple as you see right in front of you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So no matter the situation, what is in front of you, if you're angry, if you're hurt, if you're depressed, if you want to forgive someone, if you don't know what exactly is happening, if you really feel that this is not my day, this is not my time, this is not my here, then just keep thinking about it and repeat the statement every now and then. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. I will not go a detail into it because it's a very, it's a long process to explain you the whole of the thing. So whether I go into detail or not, if you just keep repeating this, it is going to work for you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So someone asked, what exactly is this and how do you use it? There was other person who said that a lot of us made choices in the past that we wish we wouldn't have. Funnily enough, we don't really remember most of them, but their energy is still with us. Those situations are still with us. The clearing statement here functions on the idea that you make a different choice, and your choice today can change all your past choices that are limiting you. The clearing statement functions on the idea that you can make a different choice, and your choice today can change all your past choices that are limiting you. So at times we know what choice we made, at times we don't know, or we're not sure what choice we have made. So for that, if we just keep repeating right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds, it is going to help us in many different ways. So Vandana says, so should I be in allowance that whether this is happening in my life is for a reason? Okay, yes, it can be for a reason. It can not be for a reason. You have to be in allowance, whether there is something to it or there is not something to it. In access consciousness, they say there is nothing right or wrong. There is nothing good or bad. Everything is basically a point of view. A point of view for one person is number 9. A point of view for another person is number 6. It's just a point of view. It is not right, it is not wrong, it is not good, it is not bad. So now, so with today's sessions, I've learned everyone has their own perspective and we have to respect that and it can help in many ways. Absolutely. This is what is allowance in other way. Everyone has their own point of views. And if we respect that, we be in allowance with that, everything will change. It'll help us and everyone surrounding us. So coming to the end of my slide, basically, no matter if you are on a medication or a therapy that you are taking, practice this power of threes: forgiveness, gratitude, allowance for speed recovery and healing. I usually advise this to my clients, those who come to me for therapeutic processes or for any other thing, that they continue no matter what treatment they're taking or therapy they're on. If they keep practicing this at home, along with the treatment they are on, things will go smoother and quicker for them. The release of their emotions and all the lower emotions and other emotions will be quicker. The recovery and the healing will be not only on the physical, mental, emotional, but it will also be on a spiritual way. And
Wonderful.
that is what it is. Please do practice these techniques.
So that was beautiful and very well said. Does anybody have a question? Because we're already 2 hours, 25 minutes. And I do need Binaifa to do for our speaker, Kauris. So could you put your questions in the chat box? By then we will ask Binaifa to do Kauris for Ali. Yeah, he did. He's presented this beautifully. Absolutely, wonderfully done.
Thank you, everyone. Before
you can also put your feedback here as well as on the group. Ali, are you included in the group, WhatsApp group?
Yes, I am in the group. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So, Binaifa, are you there?
Yes, Anu, I'm ready.
Wonderful. Can we have, so Ali, you've done such a beautiful work today and presented in a brilliant manner. And we'll have a gift for you. That's, Binaifa will be doing Kauris for you, which is actually finding out destiny from shells. So she's got this beautiful chart and Binaifa will be showing you what that chart looks like. And then thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
It's like amazing. If you guys are not there, there's no point me running this program. So I'm in deep gratitude to each and every one of you for supporting each and every one of you. You're not supporting me. You're supporting each and every one of you.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're also supporting the speaker, which is so, so, so important. Binaifa, go ahead, please.